I'm going to read 5 poems for you. I can't tell you how remarkable this is to somebody like myself. I'm almost 57 years old, and there was a time in my life where you wouldn't have admitted, even to your own family, that you were an atheist. And here we are celebrating it, so I have to commend these people. It's a remarkable evening, and I hope that it continues to be successful. I think that poetry should be the liturgy of atheism and humanism. Religion is the worship of death, and poetry, I believe, is the worship of life. So I just want to read a few poems for you. I hope you find something you enjoy among them. Thinking about the death of John Updike. Out there in the world, some brittle oak leaves have survived the worst of it. They cling like the rest of us, beset and shivering on threads in March's wind. The sun barely changes, traipsing as it does from south to north and then to south again. And the blueness of the sky, well, what has not already been well said about that? I am listening to the punk squelching of Patti Smith, wriggling in her tender agonies on a filthy stage on the Bowery 34 long years ago. The heat has kicked on, and a manufactured comfort swirls up from the registers. It is not the wind moving outside that I think I hear. In the slick pages of the newest New Yorker, something has pushed up through the hard soil, and I find myself living or dying of John Updike. The last of his poems have lain down before me, heads reclined into the posed configuration of a treacherous piece, their toes pointed upward toward ambiguous perpetuity. I would have to say that he was not so much unlike any of us, we who have been fated to finally become the likeness of one another. We believe what we cannot understand, and we know that we will go just as we came, alone, wondering, and empty-handed. This is called The Blue Heron. Within the depiction, which is this river, the blue heron is composed. In the moving world, like the rock which is his perch, he must be the stillness. He knows that what he needs will come. He must be ready for it. This morning's rain runs off the slate of his back. He understands somehow. The rain is the river, and the river is the fish, and the fish is himself. This one I scribbled largely on a napkin in a cafe in West Greenwich Village at dinner with a friend one night. She was telling me about a mayfly, which has a lifespan of 1 day. Many of you might have heard of the mayfly. So this is some kind of sonnet for a mayfly. If it be true what learned people say, the mayfly lives for but a day, I'll not shed even the tiniest tear or wish he'd make it 1 more year. Instead, I would concentrate on just how grand to live without next week's demand. And among the simple mayfly facts is, he never once has to file his taxes, or contemplate the waning moon, or anticipate any time but soon. Never repay, but only borrow, or check the weather for tomorrow. It might be luxury, if I may be bold, to be unconcerned about growing old. No time for Betty Bye, nor alarms to be set. No time for longing or for regret. Not to mention that on his day in May, he might decide to alight or just fly away. Another thing any mayfly knows, he won't need to shop for winter clothes. Never wondering while watching the setting sun why living seems over before it's begun. The mayfly is the only one who can truly say that the mayfly has so truly had his day. At 8 in the morn, his youth would flower, old age at 25th or 26th hour, never needing to strain his brain to remember where he was on the 24th of September. O mayfly, how strangely fortunate is the lifetime, brief and immediate. Mayfly, whose lifetime is so fleetly fleeting, it would seem so surely worth repeating. Just a couple of very short ones. This one I wrote for Christopher Hitchens, who I did get to meet one time as he went outside for a cigarette in a lecture. This is called Intelligent Design. I cannot give much credence to divine intervention, even at the risk of my defying a redemption. But I have faith that it would be wholly mistakable to endorse any God who would make a bone that was breakable. And this one some of the younger people will appreciate. I have 3 children all in their 20s now, and I didn't understand what all that they were doing initially with their thumbs and these phones in their hands. So this is called It's Like OMG, which the older one says, oh my God. My children use their thumbs to converse with invisible people. They speak a language with no words, a shorthand of the hands. Sometimes I try using my voice to interrupt them, yet they continue wandering in a place with no sound, where thoughts become reflexes, and God exists as a single letter. Thanks very much.